all about presenting the golf course, what we've got here. I'm responsible, I'm an ambassador, very proud, honoured to be able to present and to showcase the golf course to members, golfers, visitors, the community, and most importantly to like future generations. And it's important knowing what resources that takes and just having awareness of the impact that can have on our surroundings, really. I'm responsible for the club's environmental projects and geo. So I'll do a lot of all the recording, and we've now done 3 accreditations with GEO. And back in 2019, I was very fortunate to be recognised for that work by GEO and made one of their sustainable champions. 2010, Jason, our managing director, asked us to look at GEO and what would we need to get accreditation. So we started on that, and from there took a real interest in the environment and sustainability, and it's just grown. And I think I'm always learning, you know. This area on the Marquis is known as Charwood. It's an ancient woodland, and local woodland management have done surveys and take quite a bit of an interest just in, you know, how we're managing it and what species are around us. Anyway, in a recent survey, this woodland over here, they found a rare species of bat called a barberstel, and they used hedgerows to get around. Some were tagged and monitored, and they were going as far as Heath and Reach, which is about 4 miles away, and all they use are hedgerows and local woodland. So it's important for us to be aware of that, so that we know that we can maintain and keep these hedgerows for these, you know, bats to flourish and, you know, just keep within our area.
Do you do anything specifically to like increase biodiversity at all in the area?
We carry out surveys, and we have recommendations, woodland management plans. So yeah, there's a lot going on. We work with a tree woodland company over on the Duchess course back in 2017. We took out 500 trees, you wouldn't even know. And the reason for that was to encourage younger trees and the trees that were already there to grow, strengthen, stuff like that. Each course also has a course attendant. What they'll do, they work part-time. We'll have one on a Monday, one on a Tuesday, and then a couple in on a Friday. And they'll go around the whole area, all the roads, and they'll collect litter. And they'll also collect all the litter from the bins, which saves a job for a greenkeeper, but they'll sort it. So it's not a pleasant job, but they'll take out all the plastic, all the glass, and then that's all recycled. For the past 3 years, we haven't sent any of our waste to landfill. 48 tonnes of waste we done last year, 44% of that was recycled. So those 3 guys are important. Previously, our water, we were relying on a local water supplier off the mains, and rightly so. If there's a drought, the first people that they're going to stop would be sports complexes, golf courses. So that reason, the cost was why we looked at building this reservoir, and by building this we're now sustainable. We've got our own water supply. We don't need to rely on a local water, you know, a national water supply. After 5 years, it's paid for itself with the money the club has saved from not paying, you know, for water.
Has it affected your water consumption?
No, no way. If anything, we're a lot stricter. So 110,000 cube, that would last us probably, that would be 3 years.
How have you done that? Like, what have you been more strict on?
So there'll be less watering of rough areas. In the morning, you'll have a guy go round, especially when the weather's like this, and a moisture sensor, and that will get where the dry spots are, and then they can give that to a greenkeeper, and then that greenkeeper can go and water those dry spots, minimising the amount of water we're putting out. So we can use the irrigation system to target dry areas. So we're reducing the amount of water we're using like that.
And you haven't seen any like decrease in?
No, not in plain surfaces.
No, so everything looks as good as before?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Obviously this kind of thing can't be built by like every course, but do you know of any other way that probably, and other courses maybe? I
think, yeah, a lot of golf courses do have a bit of land where they can, you know, store water features, But a lot of golf courses do have land and are making space, and are aware of the need to have their own water supply. 5-10 years time you won't be able to get it from your local supply. Fuel costs have gone crazy. This time last year we were paying 60p a litre for red diesel. The last delivery was £1.30. So that has put a real sort of spanner in the works. We were trialling HVO, an alternative fuel, vegetable oil, and unfortunately the price increase has just made it impossible. That is now I think nearly £2.50 a litre. So that's gone up as well. So it's very, very difficult. And until the government or there's some support, some initiatives, it's going to be very difficult for us to make that commitment and switch. But the trials went really, really well. We used it on all our tractors, utility vehicles, fairway mowers, and had no issues whatsoever. So as soon as price is reasonable, then we will switch to HVO.
Are there any electric alternatives to the vehicles that you use?
Yeah, we've had electric greens mowers, pedestrian, and they are getting better and better. What we're planning on doing in the future, this area here is going to become a new workshop storage facility, so it will replace this. And what we're thinking is having solar panels on the roof, and then we'll have like a room where we can charge electrical vehicles. So it could be mowers, strimmers, chainsaws, but we'll be able to produce our own electric from the solar panels and have a storage thing there. So that's in the plans.
As far as kind of like your mowing patterns and stuff like that, is that something that you kind of monitor pretty closely, like the little mileage of the machinery, just to try and cut down on that footprint of?
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, what we'll do block cutting. So where the fairways are like half and half, so like your black and white, and that way you're reducing the amount of usage. So like on the Marquis course, we used to do 2 semi bands, so semi-rough. So you go around the fairway twice. We've now reduced that to 1. So there is a lot of simple things that you can do to reduce.
Do you do any kind of dead wood management and for insects and stuff like that?
Yeah. So when I first started, if you had a dead tree, it would be cut it down, get rid of it. Whereas now we'll leave them. That'll encourage habitat for insects. And then also if we do have to take any limbs down from the trees, we'll stack them, and that encourage beetles, insects, maybe hedgehogs, all that sort of thing. But yeah, so rather than just taking away all the wood timber, we'll utilise it for habitat.
So we've got the herb wall here where we use all of them for different things around the clubhouse. So we use some of them for the bar, we use some of them in the kitchen for all the different dishes we do, but mainly for like the drinks, for like the gin and tonics. That's a really popular one, but we've got all sorts really. So
all our suppliers, in communication with them, reduce the amount of packaging we have. So I'll be responsible for buying all the greenkeepers uniform. So now all greenkeepers uniform, when it arrives, there's no packaging. Greenkeepers were issued with boots last month. They are fully recyclable. And I'm looking at shirts. It's difficult to find them, but I think you'll get more and more, and it'll become cheaper and cheaper. It'll become more the norm. So all the ground coffee, just throwing loads and loads away, weren't we? So we spoke to our gardening team, and they started taking it, and they were using it as fertiliser for plants and stuff around the estate. And unfortunately, we were producing too much for them. And they turned around to us and just said, we can no longer take it. So we spoke to our waste management team, and they've done a bit of research for us, and it's now, they take it away and it's compressed and made into logs for burning. Yes, so similar for your stuff. So all our used coffee is now recycled, which is another good story.
Both the simplicity of some of the ideas and the creativity of others. So the stuff as simple as the recycling and the waste routine, where they sort the waste out and make it more recyclable, is something that any club can do, and it's so simple, yet a lot of clubs don't do that, even though it's something that can basically be done at any club. And yet the whole the coffee waste being used as fertilizer and the creativity of that sort of side of sustainability are things that I wouldn't even have thought about doing. It's just something that really show how well Woburn have thought about sustainability and shows that why they're on top of the whole sustainability process.
Young people, we are in a great position to be listened to. We are growing up with the world as it is, and that's experiencing a lot of change at the moment, that being climate change. So I think with the topic being at the forefront of a lot of people's minds, people respect that young people are going to be taking things forwards in all kind of walks of life. So I think young people are well positioned to talk about this topic and engage people, middle-aged people, older people, whoever it is, to have stimulating conversations and spread that awareness. And that then gives a good foundation to start asking questions like, why are you doing that? So then you build on awareness and you start to actually understand why things are done, to have a deeper level of understanding.
Information is key, and if you can I've learned so much through this experience today, so if you can almost tell clubs what they can do and what impact these little changes can have, then, and if England Golf can put that to every club, then I think a lot of good will happen from that kind of information being given to clubs so they know what to change, how to change it, and what impact it can be to change.